Hello, my friends. Obviously, it's not going to be the revelation of the year that certain Hermes bags, well, let me correct myself. All Hermes bags at this point are quite difficult to track down, but did you notice that there are also other designs outside of their bags that are just as difficult to get, if not even more so? Well, those are the pieces that we'll be discussing today. The ones that when and if you see in stock, you definitely want to jump on. So if you'd like to see those pieces and hear my thoughts on which ones are worth your money and which ones are not, then please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and keep on watching. But before we get into talking about these special pieces, we have an even more special guest making an appearance who is, let's see if he wants to say hi. Do you want to say hi? Do you want to say hi? So this is Pi, our little puppy, who I'm sure you've heard a lot about, but I wanted him to come say hi really quick. He doesn't really know what's going on. I think he's overwhelmed by all the lights, so I better go put him in his playpen so he can take a nap, and I'll be right back to you guys. And now that I'm covered in dog hair, let's get into talking about why Hermes pieces are so difficult to get, because if you ask someone at Hermes, they would probably tell you that the reason they have such few pieces of really everything across the board is because Hermes likes to keep everything in-house. They produce most of their things in France by the craftsmen that they trained over long periods, which I'm sure is a big part of the truth. But if you asked for my 2 cents, I would probably say that marketing also plays into it, because why would Hermes want to jeopardize their status as one of the most exclusive brands out there by producing more than what they need to? I'm sure that they like to keep production numbers really low just so they can make people feel that whatever they're buying is more exclusive. Probably more exclusive than it actually should be. But anyway, I don't work for Hermes. I can only share with you my thoughts, my experiences, and what I have learned along the way. And these are my thoughts. And let's get into talking about the actual pieces that whenever you see in stock, you don't want to sleep on. And let's actually start with fine jewelry, because I have just done a dedicated fine jewelry video sharing some of my current favorites. So if you have not seen that, make sure to link it down below for you. But as beautiful as Hermes fine jewelry is, some of their pieces can be quite a pain to track down. But trust me, it is worth it. Unfortunately, Hermes is not like Cartier or Van Cleef, where you can walk into any one of their boutiques with a certain design in mind, and all they have to do is open their drawers, because they'll probably have the piece that you're looking for in every color, every size, and every finish. And even if they don't, they can probably order the pieces in for you within a couple of days. Well, Hermes doesn't work like that. If you have a certain piece in mind, or if you've seen something on display, it's quite likely that they'll have 1 or 2 different sizes of each piece available, and that's if you get lucky. Sometimes they don't even have any one of them available, so it can be challenging to find Hermes jewelry pieces, but it's so worth the hype, because Hermes fine jewelry pieces, in my opinion, has to be one of the most underrated Hermes métiers for the quality, for the craftsmanship, for what these pieces will add to your collection. They're definitely worth the money and the hype. So I wouldn't want you to feel discouraged by all of this. If there is a design that you've had your eyes on, I would say try to track it down, because it will be worth it. And thankfully there are a few ways that you can go about getting one of their pieces. Obviously your best bet is to either get in touch or visit your local boutique to see if they have the piece in stock. If they don't, I'm sure that your advisor will be more than happy to have a look in their own system to see if any one of the nearby boutiques have it, and ask them if they would be willing to transfer it for you. Even if that's not an option, they can get in touch with the corporate office, who can have, I believe it's called the global or corporate call. I know of this because it is something that had to be done for me, where they get in touch with the corporate office and they see if they can call it in from their global system, which I would say that it is something that can be done, but it's probably going to take quite a while, and I would make sure that you're seriously interested in the piece. Otherwise, it's not worth your time and it's not worth your advisor's efforts. Or if you don't want to wait that long, well, it might actually take longer if you go for the third option, but you can actually have certain Hermes jewelry pieces custom ordered, which they don't offer that often these days. But if there's something that you seriously want, I would definitely ask about having it made specifically for you. which can be challenging, especially if you've never seen the piece that you are ordering in person before. But if you know that you're seriously interested in a piece, maybe ask them if they have it in silver or in another color, just so you can have a look at it for yourself before you actually place an order, which is going to be time consuming and you will have to pay for it in advance, or at least you'll have to pay a deposit. When I thought about filming this video, the first thing that came to mind that I had to talk to you about was this next group of products, which I know is going to be surprising, but these pieces might be more difficult to get these days than even Hermes's bags, which, believe it or not, is going to be their tableware, especially pieces from their iconic mosaic collection, which have become so hard to get that certain stores stopped taking orders and wishes for them just because there are so many people in line waiting for them, which, trust me, I completely understand. I have done dedicated videos on my Hermes tableware collection, which by the way has taken me years to collect and build to a point where I feel like it's almost complete. I am still waiting for pieces. I think the last time I placed an order was back in October or November of last year, and I have just received a message that some pieces, not much, but some pieces arrived from my list. So hopefully I'll be able to go and pick those up soon. But I do think that Hermes tableware is incredible if you're trying to make a great investment into your collection and you like to buy pieces that you can, yes, use in your kitchen for eating or for serving and displaying food, but you can also use these pieces around your home as decorative elements. They are worth the money and the wait, but just be sure that you're patient when it comes to these pieces, because I don't exactly know why, but some of these pieces can take a year or even more to come in, and that's if you're even allowed to place an order for that. Let's move on to ready to wear, which again is not usually the first thing that comes to mind when you think of hard to get Hermes pieces, and we're not even going to be talking about their most opulent runway pieces that they really make few of, but pieces that they launch every season, and each season it gets more and more difficult to find, which are their seasonal t-shirts that I've been buying for the past, I don't even know, 6-7 years maybe. I think I've been buying these since the season they first launched them, and this was one of the first t-shirts that I bought that has the spider robot on it. I think this was the first one, either this or one with a shantung pattern, but in case you were not aware, Hermes each year chooses an overarching theme that influences everything that they do, from their annual ribbons through their window displays all the way to some of the patterns that they use in their collections. And these t-shirts pay tribute to those themes. So if you look at the t-shirts, you can kind of tell what the overarching theme was for each year. So I have here one with a robot on it. I have a really futuristic t-shirt here. This season they did something with horses on the side, which I unboxed with you guys. Make sure to link my unboxing down below in case you want to see what was the current t-shirt for the season. But they always do these t-shirts, they've been doing them for years, and as I said, each year they get more and more difficult to find. Now for the past, I want to say 6 years, they kept the exact same design in terms of the cut, the fit, and the fabric, but for the most recent spring-summer season, they actually changed it slightly. They made the t-shirts a lot more oversized and longer, so if you didn't get on with these fits, which I found personally really flattering, but I know not everyone did because they were quite short for a t-shirt as well as see-through. You might be wondering why you've never seen me in any one of these t-shirts. The reason is that they become quite see-through when I sit here in front of all these lights. In real life, I've never really had those issues, but in front of the camera, I've had to refilm videos quite a few times because I didn't realize how see-through these t-shirts were on camera. But this new t-shirt that they came out with, which they changed the fit and they slightly, I think, changed the fabric too. I've never had that issue with that. So if you didn't get on well with these t-shirts because of the cut or the fabric, you found them too fitted or too see-through, you might want to give the new t-shirt a try. I personally prefer this, and I hope that they'll go back to this next season. But even if they don't, I know that I'll continue collecting them because I feel like they first of all help me add a piece of Hermes history to my collection, and also I just find these so incredibly fun under a more formal blazer or with a pair of jeans. these are just the perfect way to either dress down an outfit or make it feel a little bit more young and playful. There was a time when Hermes was better known for their silk creations than their bags, which might not be the case anymore, but it remains that their silk creations, at least some of them, are still incredibly difficult to get. And the reason is that their silk pieces are not mass produced, instead they're individually made in their workshop in France. And what's unique about them is that each and every single layer of color is treated as its own print. So what they do is that if you see a print that consists of 2 or 3 different colors, those scarves will go through 2 or 3 different steps of printing because they press each color individually. So if you have a scarf that consists of 20 different colors, that means that that scarf was pressed and printed 20 different times throughout the process. And once they are done building up the print that they want to achieve, they take it and they hand roll and hand finish each scarf. So if you would like to add a piece of Hermes' heritage to your collection, this is a fabulous way to start, because these pieces, I'm not kidding, will feel like you're wearing a proper painting around your neck. I've said this before and I'll say it again. If this, well, not specifically this piece, but if one of their more intricate scarves, like this one, which is one of my favorites, if this was hung at the mat, no one would question why it's being hung there, because it's so incredibly well made, not only in terms of the quality, but also the attention to detail. The craftsmanship is just truly mind-blowing. And even though I don't wear silk scarves around my neck, I have built quite a collection over the years, just because I use these scarves around my home as decorative elements. Some of them I have turned into pillowcases, and others I actually use in my scarf hanging system, or I should say I used to. I don't currently have up the scarf hanging system, but I've had it up on my wall for years, and it has been one of my most favorite pieces from Hermes, because it allows me to not only appreciate these scarves, but also to bring in a piece of Hermes' heritage into my home. And it, I think, is one of the most underrated pieces from Hermes. A lot of people know about their scarves, but not enough people know about the scarf hanging system, which, if you ask me, should go hand in hand. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. We're not here to talk about the scarf hanging system, but to talk about hard to get scarves, which usually, obviously, you will always have Hermes scarves available in access, but there are certain prints that are harder to get than others. Anything that will spell out Hermes, for example, is going to be a tough one to find. So I, for example, have this one here, which spells out Hermes. Let me see which way it is. Yep, it is this way. So it has each and every single letter of Hermes, and then if you look at the scarf as a whole, it spells out Hermes. Any scarves that will showcase a bag like a Birkin, a Kelly, even an accessory like a rodeo is going to be incredibly popular, as you would expect. So this was, I like to call it the please check-in scarf, which features the X-ray of a Kelly bag, and then also scarves that have a really intricate, detail-oriented print to it that almost look like a piece of art. Again, will be difficult to find, but this has to be by far one of the most beautiful pieces that I have ever purchased from Hermes. So I would say that if you would like to add something that almost looks and feels like a piece of art, definitely consider buying their scarves, because these are multifunctional pieces. You can twist and turn them to make them into bags, to wear them around your neck, or to have them displayed in your home. And also, I almost forgot to mention that when it comes to exceptional scarves, usually the ones that involve quite a bit of embroidery and beading are just as rare as some of the most unique and special Hermes Birkin and Kelly bags. And last but not least, let's talk about a piece that I don't personally own, and I'm not planning on adding it to my collection anytime soon. But these pieces were all the craze last summer, and I have no doubt that they're going to be just as popular this coming season, which are the sheep, I believe they're pronounced, sandals from Hermes, which definitely lean into this Birkenstock sort of ugly grandpa sandal trend. The closest thing that I can think of from another luxury house would probably be the Chanel sandals that they launch and they have been launching each spring summer, which I know are crazy popular too. Now, I don't really understand the hype. If I had to choose between the Chanel and the Hermes sandals, I would definitely go for the Hermes ones because they draw inspiration from the Izmir sandals, except they added this thicker, chunkier, sort of orthopedic looking sole, which I guess is the whole point of this trend. Now, I personally don't think that this is the most flattering look unless you're in kindergarten or you have a need for incredibly comfortable shoes. I personally didn't want to wear shoes like this when I was in kindergarten, and I definitely don't want to wear them now. But if you love the way these look, I think you will be happy to hear that they're back for spring summer again. I know that when they launched these in Shearling, I think it was last fall that they did that, people lost their minds over them, and advisors actually had to get approvals from their managers to be able to release their shoes. The craze was so out of control. And while I cannot tell you that they're back in Shearling just yet, they're coming back for this season in either suede with a fun geometric print, or you will be able to find it in black and a couple of different fun colors. So if you couldn't get these shoes last season and you're still hunting for them, they're going to be around, but I have no doubt not for long. So I would say talk to your advisor and your local boutique as soon as you can because they're going to be gone quicker than you could say sheep. But my friends, this completes today's video on some hard to get Hermes pieces that are not Birkins, Kellys, or even Constance's. I hope you enjoyed this video and I cannot wait to hear what you think in the comment section. Do you own any one of these pieces? Do you love them? Do you dislike them? Is there anything else that you think is missing from this list? Please let us know in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more. But for now, bye.